was watching. Speaking of starlets, there's talk that Arsenal are going to push for a deal, £50 million for Balogun. Do you know much about him at all? Do you feel like? I feel like he's better than Eddie Nketiah, but he's not being given a chance, and I can't really understand. I can't understand why they're even thinking about selling him.
He had a great season in France. He scored a lot of goals. He's better than Nketiah. Nketiah's fucking nowhere near it, mate. Nowhere near it. But I don't know. That's an Arsenal. I think one of them two has got to go. I think Eddie gave Eddie Nketiah a big contract and tied him to a deal. So I don't think he's going to go, but they might freshen it up. Maybe they can sell Balogun and put a sell-on clause in it or whatever they want to do, like what City do. I don't know. But yeah, listen, there's a lot. They've had a good window, according to them. They've got all the players they want. You know, they're moving mad. So, but I've not heard one of them say they're going to win the league yet. Not one.
Have you not? You not had any?
No. There's a lot of this confidence in what they're going to do. But I'm saying, look, let's have a bet then. You know, get your money out. No, I'm not betting. So, you know, it's bullshit. If you're that confident, just do it. But we'll see, innit? They've got to win the league. They've got to win the league. You know, you can't do what you did last season and win nothing and then not strengthen how you want to strengthen, get everybody in who you want to get in and not go for the league. That's your natural progression now. So I expect them to be challenging for the league. They did get upset when I told them that they wouldn't be and Liverpool would, but that's my opinion. But like I say, if there's any content creators, Arsenal out there that want to stick the neck on the line, you know where I am.
Well, Igal has stated that you're weaker now. Nobody wants to say it. He's also stated that Declan Rice is better than Casemiro, which is huge praise. I haven't heard him quite say they're going to win the league.
No disrespect to Igal, but listen, last season they were telling us Thomas Partey was in the conversation with Casemiro and Rodri. There was no mention of Declan Rice in that conversation. If we'd have brought Declan Rice up in that conversation last year and said, what about Declan Rice? The Arsenal fans would have laughed the bollocks off because they'd have said, there's no way Declan Rice anywhere near Thomas Partey. All of a sudden, they've signed Declan Rice, and now Declan Rice is the best midfielder in the world. They're doing raps and moonwalks and Rice, baby chants and shit like that outside the ground. It's great, but are you going to win the league? That's all I want to know. You know what I mean? I don't care about dancing in the street. Don't care about moonwalks. Don't care how many fucking T-shirts Don Robbie's wearing with Declan Rice's head on. I want to know you're going to win the league. You know, but nobody's willing to put that out there.
This comment here from this user says, Robbie said Arsenal will win the league on TalkSport. So Robbie has reportedly said it.
Well, I want to listen to that because last year he was very, 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 very false confidence about what they were going to do. But yeah, I like it, man. I like it. Let them get going, man. They're happy. And then they say we're entitled to be happy. Of course you are. You're entitled to be happy, but there was a lot of talk going on last year, Terry, and that's all it was, a lot of talk. And, you know, you can't talk the talk and then fall on your ass and expect nobody to say out. So everyone was talking to me, you're fucking this and you're shit and you can't handle it and Arsenal's this and we're going to do that and we're going to take over and wait till the parade and we'll let until we get our T-shirt made with the cup on it and all that shit, man. But, listen, I'm waiting for it. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be very intriguing. For me, I'm excited about the season. I think Arsenal fans should feel confident. I think Arsenal fans should be, you know, we're going to be talking about it on the Top 6 show at 6 today, but they're looking at Mohamed Kudus coming in. I think they should be keeping Balogun. I think that they should be keep him till January. Give him some game time. This kid, he looks dangerous. Like I've watched some stuff over the last few days of him. He looks really, really good, and their squad's looking thick. It looks like they're keeping Thomas Partey. There's just no reason for them to not believe they can do it. Now, City are still the favourites for me. They're still the favourites, but it doesn't mean that Arsenal fans shouldn't be confident that they can win the league. And they've done the business with Declan Rice. They blew you guys out the water, and you know they've made that mark. The big contracts that they've given out. They've done some serious business. And Freddie here with the super chat, actually, Freddie Bashford says, yes, lads, which team do you think has had the most level-raising transfer window so far?
I think probably Arsenal. I think Declan Rice, they needed that kind of player to come in. I think they needed that. Timber is a good addition as well. It's raised it a bit. Liverpool have gone up a little bit. United with the Onana thing. So I think everybody's adding to the game, stepping it up the right way. I don't think anyone's really gone backwards. But I don't know. Time will tell. You know what I mean? There's no trophies handed out for the transfer window. Let me tell you that. We've seen all this before. You can have the best transfer window in the world and end up with zero, as they well know. So, you know.
Yeah, look, I kind of, how do I say this in the right way? Arsenal's definitely on paper, based on what their manager wanted, how much money they've spent, the speed. But I look at Man United, if we bring in Amrabat and we bring in Højlund, I'm really excited with what we've done with Onana. I think that's really good business as well. I think Liverpool have done good work so far. Let's wait to see what their reaction is now when Fabinho and Henderson leave. Who else they bring in? I think if Arsenal go and add Kudus, then it's really, really, really done well. And Chelsea's is so intriguing because you just need to wait and see who they bring in, because like Nkunku looks really good. Caicedo comes in, and then a few more names. For me, it's hard to judge. So far, I would say Arsenal. I think United are in for a shout, but there's still 6 weeks of the window to go, and I think it's going to change massively.
Does Haaland get better this season?
Mate, do you know what's mad about Haaland? I don't think he's goal scorer. I don't think he'll score more goals than last year. I don't think he'll score much less either. I think I would say about the same, which is alien level. But towards the back end of last season, his build-up plays, hold-up play was getting better. If that goes to another level, that's going to be difficult. The thing is, Haaland's 21, 22? He's not even near finishing his development yet. Yeah, I think there's a lot more to come from Haaland, no doubt.
That's why I think he's had his first season in the Prem. Everyone said, he's blown the doors off it. But he probably, behind closed doors, he's probably got a lot of things that he did wrong, as well as what he did right. So I'm expecting different things from him. I think he can only get better. Alvarez, have we seen the best of Alvarez? No.
No, there's loads more to come from him.
So Alvarez there's a lot from Alvarez to come. Rodri's only getting better. Ruben Diaz at the back. Johnny Stone's going into midfield, only getting better. So City are improving, but we don't need to add massive signings to improve. We're just making sure that we're gradually going in the right direction. And I think you're going to see a different Manchester City this season. I think you're going to see a lot more reserved Manchester City, a lot more calm Manchester City, especially defensively with the 4 centre-backs. I don't think teams are going to easily get at us like they did early in last season when they were catching us in transition. Don't think you're going to get that. I think you're going to get Man City grinding a lot of games, 1-0, 2-0, not necessarily hammering people, but I just think we're going to be efficient. I think the word for us this season is efficient, and that's my word of the season.
No, mate, listen, I'm not writing City off at all. I'm really not. This here says Rice wasn't brought up in the DM combo because he was playing for West Ham. Context.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if you're playing for West Ham or you're playing for anyone else. If you're talking about best DMs in the league,
yeah. And that's where
in the conversation, but he wasn't.
And that's where I remain my consistency, because I was saying that he was up there last year, ever before he was linked to Arsenal. And yeah, you're absolutely right with that one. Joyce here says pre-season overrated. Bayern won 27-0. Utrecht won 15-1. Let's see what Mount and Kai do in the first 3 Premier League games, then we can talk. Yeah, listen, I do think you can overrate preseason. I also think there are some precursors. I think there's some ideas. You can look at how sharp your team look, but yeah, you don't put all your stock in it. You look at last season, you look at the mood of the camp, the transfers, preseason. I think you build it all into your predictions personally. Terry, are you happy with the return of Johnny Evans? Look, people have made far too much of it. He's literally going on tour with the kids. He's not even going on tour with the first team. He's there to make up some numbers. He's getting paid. He's got like a 6-week contract. It's really a nothing burger story. Like, he's not playing for Man United. He's not even going on tour with the first team. So, yeah, I'm really not worried about it. It's nice to see him back because I used to like Johnny Evans, but yeah, I'm not deep in it. Hi, Terry. This is going to be an exciting season. Will we see Colleen more? I'm sure Colleen will be back on the shows next season doing her thing. Yeah, I'm sure. So, yeah, I'm sure she will be. A big issue for Arsenal and United, to be fair, is balancing the Champions League.
That's we're used to it. City, last season it was amazing when these teams were saying, "Oh, but City is still in this and City is still in that," and wait till they start getting tired. And it's like, we don't get tired, mate. You don't. We just deal with it. We get on with it, and we're used to it. But it will come as a shock for some. But that's why you need your squad depth. That's why you need them reliable players. That's why Arsenal late on last season, when they had that Polish kid at the back, Kiwior, and that playing, Rob Holding playing, you just knew then it was like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I hear you on that. GU says, top 4 predictions for next season for both of you. Last year I said City, Arsenal, United, Newcastle, and everyone laughed in your stream, Terry. It's hard to do. I mean, as of now, it's only as of now predictions because the transfer window is not shut, but I would go with City, Arsenal, United, Liverpool. If I'm going to predict now, I'd go with those 4 as things stand right now. I don't think Spurs or Chelsea will have enough. Newcastle, just we said, balancing the Champions League is going to be really big for them. But my mind might change if they end up bringing in 2 or 3 more top quality players, and Liverpool don't. Say Liverpool get rid of these 2 and they don't sign anybody else of any real note, and that's it. No new defenders. Then my mind might change. But I think Liverpool will do a bit more business. How about yourself, Steve?
I think Liverpool finish second. I think City will win it. I think Arsenal will be third. United will be fourth.
There we go. This is from Afram Glazer. He says, when everyone didn't expect Arsenal to make top 4, they came second. When everyone expects Arsenal to make top 4, they won't. Mark my words. Listen, if Arsenal don't make the top 4, it will go down as one of the most embarrassing seasons for a top 6 club in Premier League history. To go from
more than being top of the league for 250 days and winning fuck all.
No, I think it will be more embarrassing because they started last season with, I would say, the vast majority of football not expecting them to even make it into the top 4. And yes, they threw the league away at the end, but they still had a season that was transformative. They went on to another level. That season has got them back in the Champions League, more money. They've gone out and broke their own transfer records. They've had a fantastic window so far. To then go into this new season and completely flop and not even re-qualify for the Champions League and to win nothing, that would be far more embarrassing because of the hype that's surrounding it now and the expectations. So listen, if that super chat comes true and Arsenal fail to make the top 4 this season, it will be beyond embarrassing, in my opinion. Massively embarrassing if it happens. Viewers, what do you think? Let us know in the comments section below, based on that super chat, of course, before someone clips it up and makes it sound like I said that they're going to have the most embarrassing season ever. It could be if that doesn't happen. What does this say here? Not happening. Oh, look, I don't think it's happening, and nor does Steve. We both just predicted that not to happen. But if it does, hugely embarrassing. Why would it not be embarrassing? Sorry, we've done that one. Diaby to Villa. Emery's next Pepe.
Yeah, I know City looked at him. They had an end of season documentary the other year, and it's showing you the boardroom and the players, and they were talking and they mentioned him. So he is a good player. I've mentioned him on a few streams. Very, very direct. Good signing for Aston Villa if they get it over the line. Villa's made some good signings, to be fair. I think Emery's got a point to prove over there. And I think the rest of the Premier League is strong now. It's not. When people used to say it's a farmers' league, it's a farmers' league. Well, look at the last 12 games in the farmers' league. Look at all the farmers that were getting beat up because they underestimated the farmers' league. So, listen, the Premier League is the strongest league in the world. It's a fact. And when you get to that last 10 games, everyone's fighting like fuck. That's when titles are lost and won, and that's when relegations are settled, and that's when things happen. And that's because these teams don't give up.
Mate, you also got to look at it again. Champions League winners come from the Prem. Conference League winners came from the Prem. And, really good strength in the Premier League. There's no doubt. And more money is being invested. I'm really intrigued to see the likes of Brighton and so forth in Europe next year, see how well they do. I want a few more of these teams to really go for it and invest a bit more money. But yeah, there's massive strength here. This year says Arsenal have no excuse balancing Champions League, especially after the bigger fish to fry nonsense. We should be gearing up for multiple fronts. I agree. Listen, there is no there's no excuse for Arsenal. There's no excuse for City. There's no excuse for Liverpool. There's no excuse for Man United. There's no excuse for Tottenham. There's almost no excuse for Newcastle with their budget as well. The excuses are done. It's either you're good enough or you're not. Just take it on the chin. Listen, if a team gets 15 injuries next year of their main players, then you can give an excuse. But injuries are part of the season. Everyone so far is having pretty decent transfer windows, and more's going to come. There is no excuses. You either get it right or you fail. It's as simple and as straightforward as that for all of us. I don't think that's leveled just at Arsenal. But there we go. We have another super chat's come in here. It's just come in. I'm waiting for it to come up. It says Man City versus West Ham and Man City versus Arsenal are not 6 clear points. Games in hand and 2 head-to-heads, not clear points for Arsenal. Arsenal 2 points clear. Bob for Mahrez. What does Bob mean?
Oh, Oscar Bob, the young kid.
Okay, Oscar. Right. I get what he means now. Yeah, listen. Arsenal did throw it away. We know they did. They absolutely did. But there we go.
You're not allowed to mention it, though, Terry. You're not allowed to mention Arsenal straight away. You can't, because let me just tell you this, yeah. If Arsenal would have won that league, you would not have heard the fucking end of it from forever. It'd have been the worst thing that could ever happen, right? And these sensitive North London souls that are in the chat now, because I've just said they're going to finish 3rd, you're getting your own medicine, mate. You can't say shit to me. All they said to me all season was, we're going to do this to you and we're going to do that to you. You did fuck all. We wiped the floor we were at the Etihad and we wiped the floor we were at the Emirates. You were all stood round the statue with your hands down your pants, playing with your dicks, worried that City were going to come and take your crown. Yeah. And I was stood there mocking it in front of all of you and told you, there's blood in the water and there's a big blue shark coming behind you, and you all stood there like bandits, yeah, and agreed with me. So don't get on your high horse on the chat, start crying that Big Steve hates Arsenal. Big Steve talks facts. I went round there and told you what was going to happen. I told you on AFTV, I told you on all the streams, Curtis Shaw, I said you've got a good side and I respect it, but you're not as good as us. So all this confidence you're coming out with, how Arsenal are going to do this and Arsenal are going to do that, you did fuck all. You did nothing. So you didn't back it up. I backed it up. I put my head on the chopping block and told you Man City was coming. We came all the way through. We danced all over the Emirates and took the piss. We took you down at the Etihad and we won the treble. So it's all right you're signing Declan Rice. Great. And it's all right you're going to win the Champions League and everyone hates Arsenal and all that and people are scared of Arsenal. That's great. But you got to do it. It's all right talking, you got to do it. So at the end of the day, these Arsenal fans who very precious, can't say anything about Arsenal. And bear in mind, Terry, there's nobody been more complimentary than Arsenal than me. There was only one person on the Big Six show that was sticking up for Arteta. That was me. Yeah. I went on AFTV when they all wanted Arteta out, Don Robbie included, when he said it was time to go. I was the one that said, keep Arteta. And they said, Big Steve's taking the piss. He just loves Arsenal and all that. But you mention Arsenal now. Oh, God, it's the end of the world. You can't say anything about Arsenal. You must be scared if you're mentioning Arsenal. Nobody's scared, lads. Nobody's scared. We weren't scared of you last season. We're not scared of you this season. You should be scared that you don't crumble and fall on your ass again, because that'll be twice. That's all I'm saying. Isn't it, Terra? That's all I'm saying.